Hello, everyone. Welcome to enCRYPTID, the one-stop shop to investigate everything that's weird. They're on to me. They know we're talking about this. SWAT is surrounding the building, so we better make this quick. My name's Tom, and with me in his safe, in his bunker, away from all of the feds, is my buddy, the New Jersey Devil himself, Cal.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Excited to be here, as long as we can be here, until they find us.
I know. Well, you have a head start. So, what are we talking about tonight, Cal?
Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Algonquin mystical creature or concept known as the Wendigo. A very famous cryptid, but it's also a concept in certain beliefs. So it's pretty interesting. It was what I think that the poll picked as what we should investigate. So we're excited to get into that.
And it's interesting because this is now 2 weeks in a row that we've done a Native American myth that's kind of like pop culture, and not as many sightings as Bigfoot or the Sasquatch, but sightings exist, and we'll get to that later. Like Cal was saying, the concept of just the Wendigo is really like a tool to teach people like not to be cannibals, like as well as murder and like very like greedy. But I guess we can get into the next segment, and we can.
Right. It's actually perfect timing because yesterday was my mother's birthday, so I want to wish her a very special happy birthday to her. And today we also have a special birthday as well. So in the chat we have Jen Valente. She's here with her husband as well, I'm sure. So hello, Jen, and hello, Angelo. But we want to wish a very special happy birthday to Jen, who's here in chat. So have a legendary birthday from your folks at enCRYPTID.
Yes, and Cal's mom, both of you.
And my mother too, as well. So Tom made this awesome graphic for us. Pretty cool.
I didn't make the cake.
He didn't make the cake, but the graphic he did. So thank you for that. So back to this. All right, we're good. I think that was all the only housekeeping stuff we had to do. Right now into the lore we're going.
Yes.
Okay, so into our first segment. So here I go.
We're taking a tour through the lore. Look at it go.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Tour of the lore.
With all these pop-up windows, it's hard to figure out which one is going. But yes, we're touring the lore where we go into the history of the creature in question or our investigation material.
Yes, and we don't have to go far from our last location. Most of the North America region, the northern North America region, so that's northern United States, southern Canada, same as the Sasquatch in most regions, but then we also have little things like the skunk ape and the Bigfoot popping up in other places. So the origins are about the same, but these pretty much come from 4 separate tribes specifically. I know the Cree are one of them for sure. I can't pronounce anything.
So we have the Cree, we got the Ojibwe, the Salto, then we have Naskapi and Innu as well. So a few different ones. And like you said, it's from the Atlantic coast, from the far side of the Atlantic coast, as well as the Great Lakes region. So you do get some of Canada involved as well.
Yeah, for sure. And like it was basically just an idea that, and it differed from place to place, but if you ate human flesh, become this monster. Now, in some instances, it was a very skinny, emaciated looking creature. In other cases, every time it ate a body, it gained the like mass from that and became like a huge towering ogre. But I'm not sure what still you have prepped. Really, any of them will work. Yeah. So obviously, Native Americans did not practice cannibalism as depicted by a lot of, like, I'm sure there, like anything, there are exceptions, and some tribes did practice cannibalism. But even back then, it was very taboo. So it's interesting that Native Americans were painted as savages, but they knew just as well as anyone else that there are these taboos you do not cross. Next slide. We got something. This is just another popular depiction I don't know where it's from though, because it almost looks like a Japanese Wendigo. So like the styling is very like Japanese Oni looking, but there's not many pictures of them in real life or made up. I like this one. This is where we get that like the towering beast idea. Some of them, like they were saying, it became like a big ogre. Sorry, org. But I never saw where the horns came in. But I love that aesthetic about the creature. Because if you look at cave paintings, which might be the last slide. Yeah. Obviously, there are these giant creatures. This is from a cave called the Wendigo Cave. And that's what they thought they looked like. So the horns aren't depicted here, and it's not very emaciated. So it's somewhere between where a lot of people draw the comparisons. Although there's a horn on that guy over there, so maybe they just blended the characters. I don't know.
Well, some people believe that you took on the attributes of the thing you consumed. So maybe when they consumed a deer or something, they got that horn thing. But
that mass.
Yeah. Another thing was that they were, like you said, they associate with cannibalism. In these cultures, they sort of associated Wendigo with like cannibalism, murder, insatiable greed, and cultural taboos. So anything that like wasn't the norm for them, like even that's what they thought was like maybe a Wendigo possessed that person, or they got they took on the attributes of this evil spirit. So that's how people thought the Wendigo was. And there's also seen in the Northwest Pacific Coast by the Wet'suwet'en people, the Wet'suwet'en culture by Athabascan people. So that's another thing. They have a very similar creature. It's called the Wet'suwet'en for the Athabascan people.
Yeah, but they're not crazed, right? They're more about like they're wise and kind of mock you while eating you, whereas a Wendigo is insane and will just eat whatever it can. In the chat, sorry to interrupt. Justin makes a really good point. He heard that the horns are supposed to, like, as antlers, are supposed to symbolize the blend between spirit and human. Mm-hmm. So almost like a tether to the spirit world. That's really cool.
A lot of people are digging a lighting. This was actually Tom's idea, so you can thank him for that as well. Another thing, like you were saying, that they grow in proportion to the meal that they ate, but they'll never be full. That's why they're simultaneously seen as gluttonous, but they're emaciated from starvation as well. So like no matter what they eat, how much they consumed, they always seem they're still hungry. So they're pretty much in the culture, they're the embodiment of gluttony, greed, and excess, which they're never satisfied and constantly searching for victims. And people thought in the culture, they thought humans can become Wendigos after prolonged contact with a Wendigo. So no matter, like, even if they weren't, I don't know how it would be spread, but maybe just being in constant contact with it, you took on the aspects. Maybe the spirit lashed onto you as well, and that's what people thought.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. And we're talking. They're coming in. We were talking about like ideals and concepts that it symbolizes, but it was also very much attributed to like winter and famine. They do a dance when there is a lot of famine. It's a satirical tribal dance. They haven't done one in years, though. If it's so bad, they'll dance to the Wendigo to kind of like figure out what's going on. Thank you, Eric, on the haircut comment.
Another thing was in like modern psychologists and stuff like that, they have this thing called they have a disorder called Wendigo psychosis that they give to people, and the symptoms of the person are that they have a craving for human flesh and they fear of becoming a cannibal. So like it's seeing like this kind of like philosophy, like this cultural belief of the Native Americans is taken into like modern medicine or in a way, and how they've been attributed to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and huge shout out to an American Odds shout out to Brian Fuller, the producer of American Odds, or showrunner, as well as Hannibal. And what'd I say? Odds. Well, no, I was talking about us. All right, Odds into Gods into Hannibal, because he was able to bring back the Wendigo thing to kind of like borderline him having Wendigo psychosis, and him like being a mystical aspect of it at the same time. We get through oh my god, what's the main dude's name? Dog guy. Will.
And it's cool that I didn't really enjoy that show, and it's cool how they brought that aspect into it. And a lot of shows, and a lot of the people in the community, in our Twitter community, picked up on that. And when we asked them for the feature creature portion, a lot of them suggested Hannibal because it was a very predominant theme in that.
Yeah, I still want the little pop vinyl. It's super cute. But,
yeah,
I mean, so we've talked about the lore, but what about now? Has anybody
seeing
it
the
recently?
So this was a really hard thing for us to do, finding a material on the Wendigo. You know, it was a lot easier finding Bigfoot material, so we did our best. So we're gonna go to that. I just gotta cue up the video again. So here it goes.
A little monkey guy.
So it brings it to our segment of Believe It or Not, or Who Knows, because we're not sure. So we look at videos that we found online of possible sightings and see if we believe it or not. Last week, I think we were kind of split down the middle of what we believed and what we didn't believe. But there's one obviously blatantly fake one for the Bigfoot. Yeah. But we'll see how we do this week on our Wendigo.
One of these is obviously, we'll get there.
Oh yeah, so here, okay, so I'm gonna cue up the first one now. So give me a second again. Here it goes.
So if anyone's super curious, you can find these videos in their full length online. But we did 30-second segment, or not even. But these are some kids walking through the woods. They find this abandoned house, and this is not the first sighting in the video, but this is the clearest. So they're walking through the house. A little thing pokes its head in. Before this, you could see it in the bushes and stuff outside, but it was far away.
And the thing that the time you see it in the bushes is what Tom put in the thumbnail if you saw it on Twitter. And you'll probably see it on the YouTube. It's one of the heads popping out of the bush. It was a really long video. It was about like 8 minutes or ATVing in the beginning and stuff. And they're going they're randomly looking around abandoned property, and then this is the best, like Tom said, this is the best shot you get. So I love how Tom slows it down and gives us different views of it. I mean, like several views of it, and it really gives us a chance to talk about it and what you feel, how you feel about it. So I'm gonna go, Tom first. What do you think about it? Believe it, not, or who knows?
Not at all, man. It's not even a good mask, and the little twitch thing that they added to the camera, plus him trying to like slowly run away, I didn't buy it at all. What about you?
Yeah, no, I didn't buy it either. It was way too obvious. The guy first puts his hand through the door, and then pulls himself, and it was just perfectly framed. Like the guy was to the left of the steps a little bit, if you notice. Like it was just too well framed, and it was too obvious that it was faked. I mean, it was fun to see how he popped up in the back of the bushes and stuff. So they had a good concept and good idea, and they really worked through it. But yeah, it was just a little too obvious.
Obviously not. If this is a short film these kids are working on, I'm not knocking that. Good job, guys. Keep working on stuff. But it does not pass as real.
So in the chat there, Tom's saying it's fake news. Eric is saying it's cool but fake. Matt has said that we should do the Slender Man, which we will put up a poll every week. So there's a poll right now on my Twitter to check out, and you can also make suggestions to what we add to the poll.
Because I'm wondering, where do we draw the line? Because Slender Man, the Rake, these are all creepypasta characters. Didn't exist before creepypasta.
Right.
So I don't know how much lore we can talk about, unless we just want to talk about little girls stabbing each other at slumber parties, because that's pretty much all I got on Slender Man.
That was a good documentary, though. I enjoyed it.
That was pretty good.
All right, going to the next video. So we're both out on that, right? We're saying not. Okay.
No.
Okay, so
turns out it's the only real one.
Oh wait, not this one.
This next one, I believe this is the super dark one that you can barely see something weird running. Let's see if it's the right one before I. Oh no, this is another. They're going downstairs and they see this thing. It's another long video, but this is the only time you really get to see it. That one at least looks better. Do you want to maybe play it? Oh, yeah, we got one more slow motion. It looks better, but one, there's nothing there that definitely says Wendigo. And two, I don't know. I feel like if that was real and it looked that pissed off, they wouldn't have gotten out of there.
So I feel like this one was kind of like a statue or something. Like it was just standing still, like at a perfect angle.
Its mouth moved.
It did. So maybe it had some animatronic thing. It could be someone in a mask as well, or CGI. But definitely, I feel like it was fake because I don't know. It just like was. It's always like brought to that part where then the head comes out, kind of thing. It's not like it's already there. That it's like it's kind of like let's wait for that surprise to come out. It's not like that. I don't know. I don't believe it either.
What does the creature get out of waiting and jump scare?
Right. I mean, but I think this mask or whatever CGI, whatever it was better than the one we last saw in the previous one.
Oh yeah. So, this next one is actually the most convincing one that we have.
Well,
I actually had to
for what
I had to change up the lighting skew to see it.
Right, but the sounding. Remember the sound that goes with it. All right, here we go. Ready?
Oh no, I didn't even listen.
All right, so here comes the last video.
Okay, so it's very hard to see this one, guys. So you can kind of see a figure kind of running across there, leaping and jumping, doing a thing. I had to change it so you're going to see it as a white image here.
So there it is going. And it's kind of like on all fours and...
It's shaped very weird, shaped oddly even. But it's almost like the way it's walking, though, it's weird, right? Like that might just be a corruption in me trying to enhance it, but it looks like the arms are elongated, like. But I didn't hear the audio. What's the audio?
Okay, so basically, I'm saying it's fake. So the last one we said it's fake too, right? So I think we have to be, for me, this is gonna be a clean sweep of fakes. This one, it's a girl outside and she's just laughing because it's her friend like running through the forest like that, naked or something. I don't know what it is. She's maybe in like a skin suit or something, but it's a prank. Like there's like she's running through the forest and her friend's laughing about it. But like she does like an animalistic run because she's like on all fours, like you said, and like so it did look good. But unless she's like laughing at a Wendigo running and she thinks that Wendigos are funny, but it's like a little girl like laughing or about her friend running through a forest like that.
Yeah, this I give like I definitely think there's documented evidence on some things out there, but with something that's more of a concept than an actual creature, because like. A concept can still hurt you. You know what I mean? A concept is still real, but it's not something that's just gonna be walking outside. I feel like.
Well, one way we could look at it is maybe she was hurt. The spirit of the Wendigo took her, so now she's acting all weird and stuff, right?
Oh.
So it could be real in that sense.
She broke.
Yeah.
I think we're writing better creepypastas than anybody else.
Yeah, in the chat they're talking about suggestions, but we'd like to see what you guys think in the chat about what these videos are. So a lot of people say it's fake. Eric says it's fake. I think he means the one about the previous one. Kimber says she can't really see that one that we saw. Eric agreed that's hard to see. But basically, in the real video, it was just as hard to see. It just looked like a person running on all fours across a wooded area. But if you hear the audio, it's a girl laughing about it. So maybe, I don't know. Tom's liking the fact that we bring up videos. It's really cool that we bring up videos. And Kimber says, what a twist for that thing with the girl laughing. Or maybe she's saying about the fact that I said maybe the girl is possessed by Wendigo.
That's where she was going with it.
Oh, yeah. So that could be a good twist. Who knows?
But I think it's more interesting as a concept that this thing has translated back into pop culture. Mm-hmm. It's really cool because not every Native American myth and legend, although we did cover 2 back-to-back, survives, and it's really cool that it's so integrated into our culture now. But we asked Twitter for our featured creature.
Did I freeze? Okay, I'm good. Sorry.
For our featured creature segment, about where did they first come into the Wendigo, or at least where was their favorite appearance? I love that Loch Ness monster.
Well, I know for us, like we both had very similar answers for this, and they were pretty much said by everyone. So I didn't really bring it up because we had everyone say the pretty good answers. So we should go straight to it now.
Yeah, there's our buddy Dub talking about Alpha Flight's Wendigo, and I think this is the same one you brought up, Cal.
Yeah. So the first time I saw it, actually, I can show you guys a picture of it because I have it. I think I have it on my thing. But yeah, so it's from the X-Men comic where you have Wendigo, but the first time I ever seen it was in this video game, the arcade video game I used to play in the movie theater when I was a little kid, where you could be any X-Men, like the 4 X-Men or 5 X-Men that they had. You'd put your coin in, whatever you couldn't choose, as whatever pedestal you stood at was that X-Men. And I think one of the first bosses was Wendigo, and I know it had sound, it's like Wendigo when it came out. So like whenever a boss you fought, they said the name, and that's how I didn't know what a Wendigo was at that time, but this is my first ever encounter with a Wendigo. And I was always Wolverine. I tried to be Wolverine, and I fought a Wendigo, so that was pretty cool.
I love
But
that.
yeah, I'm glad Dubs had the same answer. The next person was Joe, and he said in the Shadowrun RPG, Wendigos are trolls infected with the human vampiric virus. So
Which
that's
is a cool twist on it. I looked to see what the no guitar for you right now. Cat's trying to play my guitar. I looked up to see what the trolls in the setting looked like, and this is really a cool mutation from what they were to begin with to how they look now once they transform.
Okay. You want to take the next one?
Oh, we skipped one.
Oh no, I didn't. Trust me. I just
Get out of here, watermark. Another one from Joe. He's talking at the Pathfinder setting. It also has a really cool Wendigo encounter in Rise of the Rune Lords.
We got one from Kimber, our Supernatural, one of the very first episodes, and a bunch of people said this. I think I had this one, another one of my answers. But yeah, in the early episodes of the Supernatural, the Wendigo was one of the creatures they went after. All right, the next one, go ahead.
Here's Eric Monroe talking about the Until Dawn game, which I haven't played, but watched some footage of. Cool. Definitely more of the emaciated Wendigo, more like a Gaunt from mythology and lore.
Yeah, this is actually what was one of my answers as well, because I played the game Until Dawn, which I really enjoyed, and you really didn't know what was hunting you, I don't think, the whole game until the end, and when you see it, and like, you still don't know. It's kind of like a up in the air thing, but yeah, it was a Wendigo, so that's pretty cool. Spoiler alert, sorry for that.
Huh. Kim Hanley. Wait, no. Is that her last name? Yes, because it's I read it wrong.
Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah.
Halloween names now. She said that there was an episode of Charmed way back when, and it looked like one of the witches was also slowly turning into a Wendigo from what I saw. So that definitely attests to the cat. Sorry, my cat is trying to do a sick guitar solo right now. It also attests to how people can slowly become one by being around one, maybe. You know what I mean?
Before we go on to the next one, Matt in the chat says he's seen Wendigos portrayed in LARP as people who were attacked became Wendigos and were pale and thin and always had blood around their mouths. So LARPing is getting pretty advanced. That's pretty cool, bringing different spiritual cultures to it too.
I mean, and there's an obvious correlation between, Wendigos and vampires, and like these are obviously Native American vampires.
Mm-hmm. Jack had one for the movie Ravenous. So that was a movie a while back, right? 90s,
yeah,
probably?
And I don't know if I've seen it, but from what I looked for some stills and stuff to see if he ever became a creature, and it doesn't look like it. It just looks like he's like a cannibal. So he must have the psychosis also.
Yeah, and like I remember like
to himself as
in the promo for the movie, it's just I'm eating like raw steak the whole time. Like it was just like, and yeah, he was always hungry and emaciated, like you're saying. Yeah, so it was a pretty good movie.
It's just a shaved one. Oh, and another one from Kimber saying Hannibal, obviously. Which, yeah, again, such a cool way just to like re-cement how, I don't know, messed up Hannibal is. And
it has the horns that you're talking about. Remember in some of the pictures that we saw, we had the horns. So this has the horns, and as well as I had one more pic that no one actually mentioned, I don't think. Okay. I have a picture of it, and it's from Sleepy Hollow, where it has horns as well. So Sleepy Hollow also featured a Wendigo. So the horns is pretty prevalent. Yeah, the show Sleepy Hollow. So Wendigo is pretty prevalent in pop culture. We got a lot more examples, I think, than Bigfoot. I mean, so that was pretty crazy. We couldn't find videos of it, but we got a lot of pop culture for it.
a lot more recent ones. I think Bigfoot was a bit more of a 90s kind of cryptid when, you know, we were also getting a lot of sightings then, also a lot of hoaxes. I think it wasn't until like the early 2000s that they kind of stopped.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that the way pop culture has evolved, right, to go with this kind of stuff. So I like it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if this picture's gonna come up. I hope it does. No,
got...
it was the picture of the thumbnail, but no, it doesn't matter. It's not for that. It's for next. So I guess we're gonna talk about what we're talking about next week. Do you have anything last to talk about Wendigo?
No. I mean, it's 8:30. You want to see where the rest of the episode takes us, and then maybe take a few callers if we have enough time.
Okay. Well, I mean, all we have left is our next week's talk. What we're doing for next week and the week after. We don't have any more segments, so
we don't have. Oh, okay. So
I figured we end on that thing, you know, that we're talking about.
All right. I mean, you know, it's
you want to do it now? You want to do it now?
Oh, it's fine. Let's talk about what we're doing next week.
Okay.
So next week we have hockey coming back, right, Cal?
Yep. The NHL season starts, so get excited for that for all the sports buffs out there. My favorite sport.
Hockey is at least the most fun sport to watch, I feel, in my opinion. And I like the hockey. I hate sports video games. Hockey I like. But why are we bringing up hockey on the show?
Well, my favorite sport is hockey, and my favorite team is the New Jersey Devils, which happens to be my nickname for the show, the Jersey Devil, and a very famous cryptid as well. So next week's topic will be the Jersey Devil to honor the opening of the NHL season, and my favorite team, the New Jersey Devils, as well as Randall's favorite team.
Oh, it's actually my favorite team too.
And Tom's favorite team. There you go. It works out. It's a trifecta.
Because. Anyway, so we're going to be focusing not on the team. We won't be talking about any of the players.
I might bring up a picture of the mascot or something, you know.
But we'll be going through probably the legend of Mrs. Leeds and how she had the kid and all like that. So brush up on your Jersey Devil references and pop culture. I did want to bring one up actually while we're talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
We watched the Telltale playthrough of Wolf Among Us with Joe and Ashley played, and there's a Jersey Devil depicted in that, but he looks way more like a Wendigo, like with the horns and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool how some of these bleed on top of each other.
I'm sure Joe or Ashley will bring that up for our Twitter, you know, when we ask for our feature creatures. I'm sure Joe and Ashley will be back. We are taking callers soon, so we have Eric said he'll call in real quick too. So do you want to go in? Should we do our final segment and then take callers, or do you want to do our callers then final segment?
Well, we'll do the final segment and then take callers.
Okay.
So, but how are we gonna figure out? Like, I know we can't just wait for new sports things to happen each week.
So we thought of a clever way, and I'm glad you asked. We have a new feature called the Wheel of Weird. So Tom made this beautiful graphic, and it's the Wheel of Weird, and I happened to find a Wheel of Weird on the street. So here's our Wheel of Weird, and it features several cryptids or paranormal things. So we have, if you read it from the top where the arrow is, you got the Jinn, the Chupacabra, the Black Dog, which is an omen in many cultures, goblins, the White Lady Ghost, Mothman, the Beast of Dartmoor, and Loch Ness Monster. And did I say the Jinn already? Yeah, I did. I guess yeah. I've been around the circle once. All right. So we're going to give it a spin. And we're going to see what we're talking about in 2 weeks from now. And then every week I'll be putting up a poll to see what we're going to add to this Wheel of Weird for what's being taken off for what wins. Okay, so it's hard to aim this. Okay, it's this way and this way. Got it. Okay.
That's good.
Here goes the spin.
Oh, where spin it goes, it stops on Jinn. That's where it went.
So, winner, Jinn dinner. So we're going to talk about the Jinn in 2 weeks.
I'm excited to see some Jinn sightings. The last one I saw was in a guy, so.
Yeah. And that ties to the other show that we do, so it works out for us. Look at how everything works out.
For sure. So we got some time. Do you want to bring in some callers, some fellow believers?
So we have Eric who wants to call in.
Okay.
And does anybody else want to come in? Does that mean Billy wants to call in?
We'll do one at a time,
Yep.
and guys, just tell us what you think. Is this a believable thing? Do you think these things might exist? If so, how come we don't have any evidence? Think about it. These are important questions.
And while he's doing callers, I'll let you know that you guys can always message us or tweet at us for what you think you'd like to see us investigate. And I'll put it on the poll as well. And if you find something really, really interesting that you guys suggest, we'll probably do it right away if we can. But we're probably gonna go by the wheel most likely, and we'll add things to the wheel every week as well.
Hey, Eric. Hello,
What's up,
fellow believer.
guys?
What's going on?
Loving the new show. I couldn't watch last week, but I'm here now live. And Cal, I have to say it again, that red light is kicking.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'm loving it. Yeah. So one thing I wanted to chime in about with the Wendigo, I forgot this, but because I haven't read Pet Sematary in a long time, but the Wendigo is a part of the Pet Sematary novel. They didn't include it in the film, but in the novel, he is a part of it. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't in the movie at all, right? I don't think it was in the movie at all. Sorry, it wasn't.
No.
Yeah.
And my first thing into the Wendigo, I mentioned this on Twitter, was the scary stories to tell in the Dark Tale. That was the first time I ever heard of it. And it's still, to this day, one of my favorite tales from the 3 books.
I love that series, man.
Yeah, it's so good. Like on YouTube, they have all the segments up of people like reading out loud, all the segments. I highly recommend.
That artwork will just always stay with you.
Yes, it was so good. Oh, I even remember the Wendigo's one was the footprints.
Mm-hmm.
It was those footprints. I do remember that. But do I believe in the Wendigo and all this stuff? I'd have to say no.
We have a doubter amongst us.
Oh man, but he's probably the smart one because he's gonna be the one who survives through this. Because with us,
good call, Cal.
With us exposing the truth and all, it's not looking too good for us,
Eric, all of a sudden, Eric's like, yeah, and you don't believe either. And we're like, whoa, Eric, calm down.
And it's funny you brought up Until Dawn because Cal, I only just recently played it actually.
Yeah,
it was one of the free games for PS4. I finished it a couple weeks ago. So when I found out we were talking about the Wendigo, I was all excited. I'm like, oh, I just saw the Wendigo in the game.
But right, so you really don't know it's attacking you until like the end.
Yeah, until the end.
Right? Yeah, the end of the credits.
I thought it was just the guy at first.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was something supernatural. Then, as you progress further and further into the game, you find out more and more. And I said this in the chat in my playthrough. I didn't make good choices. Only 2 people lived.
Wow. Yeah. So like those are one of those games that like I suggest like Tom, you should play if you get a chance. I think they have the PS3 version as well. Yeah. But I know Joe and Ashley might be in the chat, I think, and you guys should check that out for BFF Plays because that's a fun game to watch people watch you go through and make decisions, just like Wolf Among Us and stuff like that. So, yeah. And it is with the Wendigo, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so. Those are my thoughts on the Wendigo.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for popping in and watching. It's a pleasure.
As always, I hope to be here every week because I love this kind of stuff.
Nice. Well, we'll talk about Jersey Devil next week. Hope to see you.
You will.
Bye, buddy.
I almost called Joe Joseph.
Sometimes. Call him Joseph of Flavor instead of
I think Billy, and I think, does that mean Joe's calling in because he said yup?
I assume he would be calling in.
Okay, so Billy's next, and then Joe, I guess. If anybody else wants to call and let us know. So I didn't know Pet Sematary, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember briefly that they do mention the Wendigo in there, but like he said, the movie didn't have it at all, so it completely fell out of my mind. When I was reading about the Wendigo online, it brought up Pet Sematary again. I'm like, oh yeah, they did have that in there, so that's cool. That makes sense, kind of.
Joe is not calling. He was just saying yep for something else.
Fine, Joe. Just lure us into a false sense of love and compassion. Oh, hey, Billy. How's it going?
Hey, Billy.
Hello.
So that's not Billy.
Billy with a beanie.
I have hair, by the way.
That's a Jughead beanie, right?
Yeah.
Talk about an insatiable eater.
Hey, it's my conspiracy hat too, because
Yeah, the new show he does conspiracies, right? But I was just saying, in the comics, he eats a lot of burgers and drinks a lot of shakes, so he's an insatiable eater. Maybe he's a Wendigo.
I do that too. I love burgers. Maybe I'm a Wendigo. Da, 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 da.
Well, now I'm threatened. We're
He's hiding-
Matt,
Matt says you're
hiding
hiding. Yeah.
yeah, you're hiding your horns under there.
You know.
So what do you think, Billy? Is it real? We're wasting our time.
I'm gonna say it's possible, but I can't be sure. It's I want to believe though, and yes, that is an X-Files reference.
What would it take?
Probably just seeing a Wendigo, or if I'm like on a somehow a really bad acid trip. I don't know.
Oh, how do you know you haven't seen a Wendigo already? Because that person could have the characteristics of it, and you just don't know.
It's a good point. It's a good point. All my ex-girlfriends could be a Wendigo.
I doubt you'd still be alive. You'd probably be eaten to death by now.
I got lucky.
He's a man eater.
And you said your first experience. So you do get to one of your tweets. I don't know if I answered any of them, but I don't think I had one from you this week. Did you?
No, I didn't. I couldn't think of. Well, everybody took Supernatural and Hannibal. The Hannibal one I especially remember because that was very, very prominent. I loved that show. Like, I was a religious follower of Hannibal. Like, not in that way, but I loved that show so much. And the Wendigo pops up very much, and it was a brilliant, brilliant show. That was way too short, I think.
Well, it might be coming back, so.
Yeah, but Fuller's got American Gods, which is great, and I love that. But
don't say that to Tom.
It could get better. I want it to be better.
Hey, you know what? It inspired a good Odd-Shaped Channel show. So you know what? It's got that going for it.
I don't know about those hosts though. If they'll be around for next season, if they get caught up with this show and the government comes after them.
I have a feeling.
My partner is safe. I haven't named her in any of these deeds.
I have a feeling the host is a lot smarter than he leads on. Oh yeah, and I'm also digging that background. I was giving you crap about it earlier, just like teasing that you look like you're in hell, but it's really cool.
Thank you very much. I like this lighting too. I'm so used to my lighting ring that I put up for all the other shows. So me in the dark, I guess it works. But no one sees my Apex Predator shirt. I wore this purposely for Wendigo. I'm wearing an Apex Predator shirt. So
I couldn't see it, so I don't know.
It's a snake.
It's a viper, but yes, it's still an Apex Predator. You should just see the Apex Predator part for Wendigos. That's it.
Yep, but no, I think it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that Bigfoot could exist. Who knows?
What do you think is the better chance, a Wendigo or a Bigfoot?
Wendigo, for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd probably say the opposite, but who knows?
Yeah, well, I have very controversial opinions about various things, so there's that as well.
He's like, Bigfoot did 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
He's always in those Jack Link's commercials.
That's a good point. That's a good point. No, but I would definitely think a Wendigo. It's more I'm more interested in their mythology and everything than I am with Sasquatch, because Sasquatch is just a big hairy dude. I could probably find one pretty easily too. I'm in the Midwest, so there's a bunch of big hairy dudes just walking around.
I feel you should keep on the lookout just in case you find one. You can send a video into us so that we'll have it.
Oh, for sure. I will definitely keep my cameras rolling.
Ooh.
So you see, yeah, go ahead.
He's gonna say, because I'm technically deficient, I'll answer the is it real question here. He's so well spoken, I can't read it well. The concept of the Wendigo is indeed real. Greater destruction of the social contract exists as the spirit. Maybe there's plenty of weird out there. I've seen and heard things I couldn't explain why, so why not? Well said, Justin, even if I didn't say it well for you.
So if we're about to have Eric say his thing, where we can find him, but you can find Eric at Koch. That's Koch 200, and you can check out his YouTube channel. And he has a lot of Game of Thrones stuff. Mine is the Fury. Sorry, I said the real Baratheon one. Mine is the Fury. Is his show with Game of Thrones recaps. You can check out his backlog episodes. And we'll get to you, Billy. Billy, where can we find you? And what have you been up to?
Find me on Twitter at bbusterbill. I am currently finishing an article for the Odd Shaped Panel blog that I've been procrastinating for a long time because, well, spoiler, it's a bad movie. It's really, really bad. But it was a lot of fun to do. I got to talk with a good buddy of mine, and yeah, you can always find me on the Odd Shape channel, and I'm a big supporter of all you guys. You know that. And yeah, just shoot me up a Twitter conversation, whether it's just about Wendigos or Bigfoot, or if it's really about anything. I'm open. So yeah.
And also,
start doing your research on the Jersey Devil, because that is next week's discussion.
Yes, sir.
Also, Billy was also recently on an episode of the Mormo Zone talking about Queen and some other fun stuff. So check that out. Also, while you get a chance, Billy, did we get a chance to say your Twitter, or did I?
No, I got to say my Twitter, but yeah, Mormo is also he's a really cool dude. So check that out. Bye.
All right, see you, Bill. Thanks a lot. So,
well, looks like this is the end of our journey.
You know, we do have to keep our episodes short because we don't know how long they listen to us.
Well, no, they're definitely listening at this point. I think once we hit.
But finding us is the issue. So, you know, the shorter we keep it, you know, the harder it is for them to find us.
Well, I was thinking about putting my address down below, but maybe I'll throw them off the trail, and I'll put something else up there where people can find me. If you want to talk anything about Odd Shape Panel, you can tweet at Odd Shape Panel. My name's Tom. Come find me. Cal, where should we fake send other people to you?
Oh, well, you can find me. See, I'm not even going to use my real name. That way people won't even know who I am.
God, I'm an idiot.
You can find me, the Jersey Devil Cal, at Virgin Deja Vu on Twitter. So, you can always tweet at me for what you want to see on the show, what you want to see investigated or added to the Wheel of Weird. So, or on the poll. So, you know, the first step is to get into the poll. We really got to vent our stuff because, you know, we can't just have topics up there willy-nilly, because that's how people find us. So we're going to really vent our stuff, putting it through a poll first, and then the Wheel of Weird, and then you can see your stuff on here, and you can even call on. So it'll be really cool. I'm sorry we used all your real names. We're sorry we used all your real names, but don't direct them towards us.
I'm hoping this is better. This will throw people off.
Yeah, it's almost an anagram. So, I mean, not an anagram, a palindrome. So it almost works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because that's cool. I didn't even think about that. Mott Tom. Anyway.
So yeah, next week we have the Jersey Devil, and in 2 weeks we have the Djinn. But until then, you could find Tom, or not Tom, Rip at on Odd Shape Panel. This Monday we have an episode coming up, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking. Musical movies, from the stage to the screen. So send us some questions talking about, you know, we're probably gonna talk about a little bit of Chicago, a little bit of Sweeney Todd, a little bit of Jesus Christ Superstar, you know.
Les Miserables.
Even Cats has a movie, guys. You can do this.
And then Mormo Zone again on Tuesday, or is that the next week after it?
No, Mormo Zone is every Tuesday, 9 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't caught the latest one, he just had Alexander Cooper on there, who is the producer of the movie Parallels, as well as Sando, which hasn't come out yet, but he's working on it. He has it up on Amazon. It's like a hidden gem. Mormo really enjoyed it. It's like a psychic David Lynch-esque film that Alexander put out, and they had a fun talk just about filmmaking, stuff like that. Next week, though, he's going to have, everyone knows him, Jesus from Jesus Takes the Reel, as well as Enter the Grave, I think is the name of his new horror podcast. So he's going to be on there as well, talking horror and some other fun stuff. In fact, I was talking to Jesus earlier today, Cal, and he's like, we're trying to think of topics for Mormo Zone. And he's like, well, I have a lot of ghost encounters.
Oh,
and I'm like, whoa. You're going to come on enCRYPTID, and you're going to tell us about ghosts. So,
because I have good stories about ghosts too, and I can't wait until we get a ghost episode.
I think we should do like a side segment of just interviewing people about ghosts.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Instead of, because I mean, it's not like we can get into ghosts. Are from forever ago.
Yep.
They're ghosts. There's not much to say about them.
Yeah, for me, you could find me on Monday night on the Game Fixers channel with Mac doing Gamer Grudge. So we have 3 new fighters, and one of the questions that we're going to feature is, what is your favorite Disney game? So if you really like Disney, like video games, check out the Game Fixers Network on Monday right before Odd Shape Panel. Talk for Gamer Grudge. And then next week, again, Wednesday, you'll see us here on enCRYPTID talking about the Jersey Devil and maybe the NHL season, but mostly the Jersey Devil.
Mostly the Jersey Devil. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and gals. We appreciate you. We'll see you all on the other side. Please, if you have any ideas for some further shows, look out for the poll so you can weigh in. And we'll see you soon, 1 week to be exact, to talk about the Lees. Goodbye.
Yeah, guys.